And good morning. Good morning. It is Sunday, July 14th, 2024. I'm Ann Metcalf, and welcome to my Conscious Eating, Conscious Living Facebook chat. And this morning, I'm going to be talking about hemp clothing. And it's not related to the marijuana hemp. I think sometimes it's got a bit of a bad rap because of that. But this is about the clothing and the plant and how we can make conscious living choices, looking at the information that's out there. So this morning, it's hemp clothing. And when it comes to natural fibers, hemp is one of the most suitable options. It's got a high yield, it uses less water, requires 4 times less water than cotton to grow, less chemicals, and improves soil quality through a process called phytoremediation, also known as restore soil nutrients, and it cleans and purifies the heavy metals and other toxins. Hemp also requires little care once it's established, and as a result has a low impact on the environment and may be grown with minimal maintenance. Its deep root system enriches the ground by returning 60 to 67% of the nutrients it takes from the soil, and it also naturally reduces pests, and pesticides are not usually needed, and it's naturally resistant to weeds. And 1 hectare of hemp will produce twice more textiles than cotton. Ancient civilizations have used hemp since 8000 BC. Throughout history, hemp has been used in food, medicine, textiles, clothing, paper, ropes, and sails. In addition to being an extremely useful plant for humanity, rumor has it that the word canvas is derived from cannabis, but without the marijuana properties of its infamous cousin. There's one site that I found, and it's Good On You. It's a material guide hemp, and it has lots of information. So if you want a deeper dive, I highly recommend it. However, it's important to be aware that hemp does not always mean organic, and many farmers still use environmentally damaging fertilizer. When going for hemp, make sure it's organic and thoroughly study the brand you're consider buying from. Hemp fabric is made from the long strands of fiber that make up the stalk of the plant. The fibers are separated from the bark and then spun together in a retting process to produce a continuous thread that can be woven into a fabric. The processing methods for hemp were originally developed in the early 1900s and are only now being updated and expanded to meet rising demands in the fashion industry. The various stages of the process can be done organically through a mechanical process that requires no chemicals. However, many companies now produce hemp fabric chemically in a process that is much more intensive on the environment, but faster and cheaper to create. If it is labeled hemp viscose, it will include those longer processes, which normally involve the same harmful processing with toxic chemicals as regular viscose. The impact of the fabric doesn't stop just there once it's been woven either. Once the fabric's been created, it may be dyed, which again can result in various environmental outcomes depending on the technique used. The production phase is a bit less clear cut. Although hemp is a more eco-friendly crop to grow, we still need to be sure that the process being used to turn the plant into fabric is lower impact. And again, check out the Good On You site, which I'll post in the Facebook page. And it's goodonyou.eco/material guide hemp. And this comes from their website. We believe you have a right to know where and how your clothes are made, who produces them, and what they're made from, how workers are treated, and what impacts the products have on the environment and animals across their life cycle. The fashion industry's complex supply chain means sustainability issues are inherently complex. To help you focus on what matters most, we, this organization, organize the issues into three overarching areas: people, the planet, and animals. For people, this includes policies and practices on child labor, forced labor, worker safety, freedom of association, the right to join a union, gender equality, diversity, and payment of a living wage. Are workers treated and compensated fairly? Do they avoid sourcing from areas with high risk of modern slavery, such as cotton from Xinjiang? From the planet, the rating, we dig into the brand's environmental policies to help you see through the pervasive greenwashing we often see. We consider types of fibers they use, sustainability of their business model, their product durability, their commitment to circularity, which is that cradle to cradle concept, and their textile waste practices, energy use and carbon emissions, impacts on water, biodiversity, microfiber pollution, deforestation, and chemical use and disposal. It's very complex. And we as a consumer, the more we are aware and knowledgeable, then the better choices we can make. And for animals, they consider how well the brands trace and monitor animal welfare across their supply chain, including better animal welfare certifications. And whilst progress has been made in the fashion industry on sustainability over the last few years, change remains slow, particularly for larger brands. It is clearly the industry as a whole needs to do better on sustainability. And the way brands are distributed on their rating scale gives an indication of the need for more change. Of the thousand or so large brands that we, good on you, have rated, 85% are either one fifth we avoid, two fifths not good enough, 15% are 3 out of 5, it's a start, and less than 1% have received a 4 out of 5 rating for good or higher. And and they have a ratings guide that is very in depth. I started looking at it last night. I'm going, that will take more time. So I invite you to click on the ratings guide and see for yourself. And how sustainable is hemp fabric? Well, it's positive for the environment when it's grown. It has a wide range of biodegradable products made from hemp, like textile, paper, packaging, and bioplastics. And by returning nutrients to the soil, sequestering carbon dioxide, hemp crops benefit the environment. And unlike cotton, which depletes the soil of nutrients, hemp can be grown consecutively for over 20 years without the soil being affected, which is amazing. And I haven't gone into that deeper research, and I invite you to do the same. This super plant also saves jobs. Hemp is harvested and processed by hand at the moment, keeping people employed. The hemp fabric is one of the most durable. It's been said that a hemp t-shirt will last 2 or 3 times longer than a hemp t-shirt. I've had this hemp t-shirt, it's actually hemp and cotton, for 15, maybe 20 years. The color is pretty close to what it was when I first bought it. Before the first wash, hemp clothes can feel a bit itchy, but the more you wear them and wash them, the more they become soft and comfortable. Hemp clothes also have the property to keep colors better than any other textile. The fabric resists bacterial growth and breathes easily, prevents odors, and in the winter helps keep you warm, while in summer it keeps you cool. Hemp fabric can also provide you with nearly complete UV protection. And depending on the season or the purpose, hemp is mixed with other yarns like organic cotton, tencel, which I found out is um, it's like a uh, uh, wood fiber product. And I'll talk more about that on another chat that I give. It's often mixed with recycled plastic, bamboo, and these blends offer the consumer the best of both yarns. Canvas, poplin, twill, jersey, fleece can be made with hemp fabric, giving designers many possibilities for their collection. So, taking care of the soil, capturing carbon dioxide, providing pollen for bees worldwide, hemp is definitely one of the most sustainable plants on the planet. And growing hemp reduces the CO2 levels, since 1 acre of hemp can remove 10 tons of carbon from the atmosphere. This represents more than the average home emissions in a year, as well as benefiting the planet. Um, Hempcrete it's a carbon intensive um, a substitute concrete, carbon negative material. And every part of the hemp plant can be used, so there's no waste. All parts of the plant, like the seeds, hemp seeds, what we put in our smoothies, leaves, roots, stalks, can be made into something useful, such as oil, snacks, paper, and fabric. And because the most effective way to promote sustainability is to reuse, recycle, and reduce our waste, without a doubt, hemp is the ultimate resource to aid us in this journey. And this was written by Julie Rochefort. There's a huge amount of textile waste, amounting to over 15 million tons annually in the United States alone, due to poor end of life prospects, which is the way a garment can be disposed of. Sustainable textiles reduce their environmental effect in comparison to traditional counterparts by methods including chemical-free farming, recycling, closed-loop production, and responsible waste management. And I will, for another day, I will talk about sizing and something else I learned about sheep for merino wool is the museling process, which is a very painful process. So as I take these deep dives into, I just wanted some organic, natural fibers to put on my body. And this is taking me down so many bananas, so many, well, the banana leaf stem stalk rabbit hole, organic cotton, and the merino wool. I just thought it was wool coming from the sheep. Well, they do other things to these little lambs um, in uh, the growing process. So that's for another day. So have a look at your clothing. The thing is, with the clothing, the textiles we buy, there are so many combinations to go into our clothing. And when there's too many, they cannot, they can't recycle it. They can't pull it apart, which is, if it's fairly simple hemp and cotton, then that's something they can pull apart and reuse somehow. But when it's all these mixtures of fabrics and the viscose and the rayon and all these other things I don't know half the names of. And so for us to be conscious living, I invite you to be that conscious consumer because we have choices. And if we don't buy it, they don't make money and they take it off the shelf. And it's a long process. It's probably as long as the whole textile industry is complex. So I welcome you to share this with others, learn more about it for yourself. What you find, please post on my Facebook page. You can email me at rosiesjoy11@gmail.com. I will have this kind of information in my app, Authentic Sacred Design, under the Earth pillar that I have, because we need to be better stewards of the earth. We've come here in this esoteric, metaphysical, physical picnic for us to find more of ourselves within ourselves. And how can we live more consciously on the planet? It's not just what we eat, it's what we wear, what we build our houses out of, what we garden with, so much. Anyway, I love you all. Blessings. Have a beautiful day and enjoy your summer months if you're in that part of the hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it is winter. So bless you all until we meet again.